I would have a question for the gentleman from 2 about this.
Gentleman from 2 yield to a question from the lady from 6.
Gentleman yields.
Gentleman yields.
Thank you, Speaker and good gentlemen. So I would want to know where in our school, the content, where is it that it says we will talk about gender identity?
Good gentleman 2.
Mr. Speaker, good lady from 6, actually it says that we can't.
Mm-hmm. That's my point. Mr. Speaker, I would like to follow up.
Good lady from 6, care to one follow-up question.
Thank you.
The gentleman from 2, the lady 6 would like you to yield to additional question. Do you yield?
Gentleman yields.
Gentleman yields.
Thank you. So following up on that, if it is already in there that we cannot, then why are we bringing this when if it's not in our content already that we speak about this? I don't understand why this then needs to be outlined in this bill.
Gentleman from 2.
Mr. Speaker, good lady, I guess there's a communication confusion here. I thought she was asking me what the content of the bill I bring does. Currently in our schools, we know that this is going on. This will stop it.
Thank you, good gentleman. Good lady from 6.
I'm going to debate then against this bill, Mr. Speaker.
Lady has the floor to debate against the motion.
Thank you. So my problem with this is that if we're in high school, I get that younger grades, the teachers probably don't even address this, but I'm thinking about my own teaching experiences, and you're in the middle of a discussion in something that could be from history, could be from in English, in a reading that they're reading, and if something comes up, is the teacher supposed to say, "I'm sorry, underlie, we cannot even have that discussion in the class"? Is that what we're doing in this bill? High schoolers.
Yes, I paused it there. Brian, let's pause it right there. Yes, right? Like if something pops up that's inappropriate to discuss in school, the teacher can say, "Stop. We're not talking about this. If you'd like to discuss it further, you're more than welcome to take it home. Let's get back to English or literature or math." Am I wrong, Brian?
No, of course not. And that's really is the problem, is that, we've heard, stories, multiple stories throughout our state and throughout the country of not only, gender identity and sexual orientation being talked about in, high school classes, but also in lower grades and also in subjects that has nothing to do with. I remember some examples of some Common Core math textbook that had some sort of sexual orientation component to story problems. It's like there is a concerted effort to put this in every subject to, just diffuse it into the entire school system. And this seems like a very reasonable clause to just say, we're not going to do that.
Absolutely.
I'm not sure why Representative McCann is debating against that so vociferously.
Because of the values, right? Because of the values. She doesn't have the right values. That's what we're talking about, folks. This is the whole thing. It doesn't really matter if you're a Republican or a Democrat in Idaho, right? It's about values. They want to put on their signs whether or not they're Republican or Democrat. Who cares? During the debate, McCann stood up and said, "I'm proud to be a Republican." Yet she's up there talking like this. She's talking like this. The sign should say whether or not you've signed the Citizens Alliance of Idaho pledge. That's what it should say. You want to know someone's values. This is the whole reason why we have the pledge, folks. This is it right here, right there. She says, what if something inappropriate comes up in what are we supposed to do? Just stop? Yes, that's exactly what you're supposed to do. That's exactly what you're supposed to do. All right. Normally, I would say let's just forget what else she says after this, but it's important for you folks to watch the rest of this. Let's watch the rest of it.
Are well beyond the age that we probably all were in that time frame, and I think that we are getting so far into the weeds. But if there is a discussion in class, I don't see why a teacher and with his or her students could have a discussion, a light discussion maybe, but about what is going on in the world, because this is something that is real, and that we're going to shelter them from what's real that they have to deal with out in
Yes.
society. So I don't understand why we are putting all of these I don't know, handcuffs on our teachers that need to talk to their students and understand where their students are coming from. So for those reasons, I just cannot support this bill.
That should be a campaign killer for her. She doesn't understand.
Yeah, I think whoever her opponent is, if it's or if it's a Colton Bennett again, I think that person's campaign ads just got written. It's
I mean, it really has. I mean, that is the whole point. She says, because remember what the bill is about. This is the thing that they do. She changes taxes. What if we're talking about history? What if we're talking about this? What if we get off into talking about like science and biology and it's not really, and we're like, oh, we should have we're talking literally about sexual orientation and gender identity, gender dysphoria, things that are a huge problem right now. And so if you're going to have a light discussion on sexual orientation, is that
the actual text of the bill? It's only one sentence. A public school shall be required to adopt procedures and policies that prohibit classroom instruction by public school personnel on sexual orientation or gender identity from kindergarten through grade 12, or in a manner that's not age appropriate or developmentally appropriate for students in accordance with state standards. So this isn't going to do anything to stop, sex education or teaching about things that are already in, the state standards for what curricula should be. It's essentially just saying, like I was saying, you're not going to use a math, segment to segue off into talking about your own strange views on sexual orientation and gender identity.
Yes, and people, and she says that this stuff doesn't happen. Folks, I have text messages. I have text messages from parents who took from their students who took a screenshot of their of a lesson plan that they had to do in school. They couldn't take it home. They did it in school on the school computer. It was like a reading comprehension plan. You're supposed to read a biography of this actress and then answer questions about what they read in that biography. And it turns out that this actress was a bisexual. So at some point in the questions, it says, what sexual orientation are they? And the correct answer was bisexual. And you couldn't advance throughout into the next slide without saying what the answer was. Well, this student didn't know what bisexual meant. So when they came home, they said, hey, mom, hey, dad, what's bisexual mean? Right?
What grade was this?
It was...
Sorry.
I don't know. You got me. I don't know. It might have been 8th grade. It might. I almost said 5th grade, but I don't think it was 5th grade. But that being said, it was young, right? And 8th grade, that's 13 years old, right? Isn't that 8th grade? Yeah, 13,
Something
14, somewhere around there. Anyway, okay, so thankfully both of these bills passed and in the House.
Overwhelmingly too.
Overwhelmingly too, except for McCann and some of the Democrats, if not all of them. So it'll head to the Senate. We'll pay attention and watch that. But Brian, I'm telling you, man, I'm just like you gotta pay attention, man. You gotta pay attention. You gotta watch this program. You gotta watch these clips when they get shared around social media. You gotta bookmark them. You gotta send them. And folks, if you're thinking about running for office, this is what you have to watch. You have to watch what they're saying. You have to peg them down. They, 5 years ago, they didn't have. There wasn't that much of an ability to watch all this stuff. It's the way social media is, the way independent media is now, where we can grab these clips and we figured out the rhythm and to just send these out there. This is having an impact. And folks, you need to pay attention to some of these people. And a lot of them, they can't help but stand up and talk. Like if she would just sit down, I don't want to give her any advice, but if she would just sit, she can't, someone like her just can't. They have to stand up.
The crazy thing about Representative McCann's situation is that she did not win a majority of the vote in the primary last year. Unfortunately, 2 conservative challengers split the vote. Had there only been one, she surely would have lost, as did a lot of other people who were moderate, especially on school choice issues, as she opposed school choice last year. So you'd think she'd come in here thinking, okay, well, I'm out of step with my constituents. Maybe I should move to the right a little bit, but it seems like she's doubling down.
Yeah, there it is there. 41% is what she got in the vote. Yeah, it's unfortunate, man. Unfortunate.
That's a bold strategy. We'll see if it works out for her.
Yeah, it is.